Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk about the smart car because I haven't really spoken that much about the car. So today is going to be 5 things I hate about the smart car. Now you guys know I love this car. I don't hate this car. It's things that I hate about this car, but even though those things I hate, I still like the car more than those things that put it down, that let me down with it. So let's get right into it. Just before we get into it, just to mention, it's a 2008 Smart Cabriolet, which is a convertible. I would open the roof if the weather would be nice, but obviously we don't get many, well, summer's not here yet and we don't get many nice sunny days in London, so roof stays closed. So the first thing I don't like about this car is this gearbox. It's got a semi-automatic gearbox, as you can see here, and it's just so slow. It's terrible. I mean, it is probably the worst, or one of the worst gearboxes I've ever used on a car. It's just like, it's so slow. The gear changes, it's just terrible. I mean, simple as that. The gear changes are slow. It's not instant. It's very slow. It takes a long time for gears to change, so sometimes the car will just rev for no reason. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, because in the end of the day, Smart is Mercedes. I would expect a bit of a better gearbox. Yeah, so the gearbox is definitely something that lets the car down. Now, this is the 2008 model, as I said, but possibly the newer ones have improved already with, you know, they have improved the gearboxes on them, but I don't know. This is the current one I have, and this is the current situation, so that's really what I can say. The second thing I don't like about this car, the power steering. There's no power steering on my car. Recently I've seen another Smart, someone, you know, came down to me with a Smart, and when he saw I didn't have power steering, he told me, wow, you don't have power steering? And I was like, no, why? Does your Smart have? He had a 2008 as well, but strangely he did have power steering. So I don't know. I know a lot of them don't have, because I'm not the first person who, you know, said there's no power steering in the Smart. So it could be it was an option when they were new to purchase them with or without power steering. I don't know, but it definitely sucks without power steering. I mean, to be fair, on driving, like on a straight line, it's fine, or while driving, but the only time you really feel it is when you park the car. So people often ask me, how often do you train? I'm like, it depends how many times I take out my Smart, you know, for a drive. Depends, because obviously without the power steering gear, it's a proper arm workout. Wow, it's working, it's pumped. I feel pumped. That was a good workout. Oh, I'm sweating. And just to mention, people think it's a tiny car, it should be very easy to park. Yes, it is easy to park, but the first few times it'll take a bit getting used to it. Even though it's a tiny car, which you would think, oh, just one little turn and you're into the spot. I guess I also thought that way, but now, yes, but the first day or two driving the car wasn't that simple to park, especially without power steering. It takes some getting used to. So that's the second thing I don't like about this car. The third thing I don't like about this car is it's very rough. You can feel every little bump on the roads. Especially in London, we have terrible roads, potholes, bumps, humps, you know, you just name it. Whatever you want, you go on the road here. You want a dead fox, you'll find a dead fox on the road. I'm just joking, but no, there's just everything here on the road. Dead animals. No, not that. I'm already exaggerating, but you know what I mean. There's so many potholes and all that stuff. And with this car, it's built for town, for city. It's a city car. It's not built to do motorway miles. It's built to run around the city. I would expect them to make it not comfortable. I understand it's a small, you know, whatever you want to call this car, but it would be more suitable if it would have a bit more comfort to it. I'm not talking about crazy stuff, just the suspension setup could be a tiny bit softer. I don't know how or what they could change, but I'm sure there's something you can do to make the car slightly more comfortable. For example, my wife used to drive this car a lot, and when she became pregnant, she didn't want to drive this car anymore, especially like near it, you know, once she was a few months pregnant. She just couldn't drive this car anymore. She said it's just too uncomfortable for her. So it just shows that this car, if a woman can't drive it because she's pregnant and it doesn't feel comfortable for her, it just shows that it's very uncomfortable. It's very hard. You feel every bump. So this is another thing I don't like about this car. The fourth thing I don't like about this car, this will sound a bit funny and strange, and I don't know if all of you will understand this, but if you don't know, at the moment I've got 2 other cars, and whenever I drive this car, for some reason people will judge your character differently. So if, for example, you need to squeeze through a small gap, or you need to, you know, give way to someone and let someone pass, just, you know, general things that you do day to day while driving, or, you know, someone is letting you go, you know, you come into small roads. Basically, whenever I drive this car, people just somehow expect you to fit through crazy gaps, or they'll see you waiting, you know, to let someone else go. They will see it's just it's a small car, let them wait. I don't know, that's how it feels to me. Well, I know it sounds strange, but I'm telling you from experience. I own this car 2 years soon, and I drive other cars all the time. I mean, this is not my main car, this is not my daily car. So the point I'm trying to say is, I know, because it's always when I'm in this car, and it's not just when I drive this. My wife has the same thing. People think you have a smart, you can fit into miracles. Like, they will make you squeeze through gaps, they would push in, all these things that people wouldn't do when you drive a normal big car. When you have a smart, people just make you do all things that are just like crazy. So it sounds funny, but this is the case in London. Look, it depends where you live, of course, as well. But in London, as we know, the driving is bad here. There's a lot of traffic, a lot of congestion, a lot of crazy drivers as well, a lot of people who don't know how to drive. So it definitely happens with this car in London. So this is another thing I hate when I drive this car. And now the fifth and final thing I don't like about the smart car is the handling. The car drives very well. I mean, well, it drives good. It's a very good car for town, except obviously the comfortability ride, but the comfort, you know. But the handling on corners, or if you going on a, you know, on an A road, for example, you're doing 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour on an A road, one of the busy big roads, or just in normal roads, on corners, especially on corners, it just doesn't feel, you don't feel comfortable and safe. And to take a corner, not even a corner, like even turning into lanes and stuff like that, it just doesn't feel, the handling just doesn't feel right there, you know. Every time I can't take a corner with this car like I take on any of my other cars. Now I know it's not a sports car or a high performance car, or built to be a car to handle well on roads and stuff like that, but I'm talking about basic handling. This has just got sometimes something. When I take a corner, I just feel like it's how do I explain it? It's like, on a corner when I do very slow, it's fine. Even if I do 30 miles an hour and I turn, it just doesn't feel good. It feels dodgy, put it that way. So that's really something that I don't like about this car. I mean, it could possibly be because of the power steering, I don't know. It just doesn't handle great, put it that way. So anyways, those are the 5 things I don't like about this car. But as I said, this is one of my favorite cars. if I want, I could have been driving my BMW 335i that's pushing 400 horsepower, sounds good, comfortable, and yet I chose this to drive now. So this means there's something here that I like this car. That's really it, guys. This is 5 things I thought I'll do a video of the 5 things I don't like about this car. I hope this video might help you, especially I know smarts are becoming very popular lately, so you know, maybe guys want to check it out before they buy the car, just to know more or less, you know, the basic information about the car where you don't see much. So anyways, until the next video, take care. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all that lot. If you have any questions, comments in the comments box below, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.